Alexander, thank you for watching and have a great weekend.
KUAM Communications, official sponsor of the 75th Liberation Day festivities. Visit liberation75.visitguam.com or 75th Guam Liberation on Facebook for all the liberation activities. Biba!
Hafa welcome to Weekend Edition. I'm Julius Santos. Glad you could join us. An archaeologist will now examine the area that sparked a viral video about possible artifacts at the Outrigger Hotel. Chris Barnett has more on this report.
State Historic Preservation Officer Linda Uggan says the Outrigger has received a certificate of approval to hire an archaeologist to look into the area behind the Outrigger Hotel that was the subject of a viral video. As we reported, Hilaan San Nicolas posted the video on his Instagram page alleging the mistreatment of possible artifacts at the hotel's beachside construction site. Ed Cruz, a vendor for the hotel, claimed the possible artifacts were his and said the stones were naturally formed rocks. Now, San Nicolas took one of these alleged artifacts to the SHPO's office, and Uggan tells KUAM News, although the official archaeologist for her office hasn't made a conclusive determination, she believes the artifact in question is a Lati-era lusong.
It's pronounced. It's right there in the middle of this stone. It's like somebody was already using it to hammer whatever or pound grain.
Uggan said the next step will be for the archaeologist Outrigger hires to formulate a work plan, but Uggan adds she has an idea of what should be examined first.
Pile that was shown on Instagram. Look at that pile first, and my staff will be there to help you along the way. So that's one quick resolution that will occur. Then the next step is to proceed with the 1x1 or shovel test pits or 1x1 meter excavation units.
State archaeologist John Mark Joseph tells KUAM News former state archaeologist Vic April will likely be contracted by the hotel and he will have to submit a work plan to the agency. April wrote a book on Marianas Lati quarries and is viewed by many as an expert on the Lati period.
We're confident in these archaeologists that they're being upfront, truthful, and objective. So one way or the other, we will find out if they weren't being objective. Of course, when that assessment begins, I'm going to require my staff, John Mark, and another person to periodically inspect the area.
While Uggan tells us San Nicolas was given an earful for taking the lusong from the tomb on site, Ed Cruz tells KUAM he collects the stones and that people give them to him, something Uggan says should stop.
He better stop accepting it because that's really, if it's Lati features or artifacts, that's considered looting. If you're looting from a private or public property, it's against the law.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
The Bureau of Stats and Plans has released a draft report and program application for the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant. Chris Barnett has more.
A recent amendment to Byrne Grant Program statutes requires that states and territories create and submit a strategic plan with their FY 2019 grant applications. Guam's draft fiscal year 2019 to 2022 strategy for drug control, violent crime, and criminal justice systems improvement can be found online at both the legislature and BSP's websites. Bureau of Stats and Plans head Tyrone Taitano tells KUAM the island could receive some $650,000 from the grant, which is the leading federal justice funding source to states and territories. BSP would receive the grant money and sub-grant awards. Taitano says grant monies cover crime fighting, the judiciary, and related programs.
But things like supporting the Healing Heart Center. It also goes for automation of the criminal justice records here. So the judicial branch and DOC and GPD have a common criminal database from which to communicate and base their decisions on. It also goes to helping support the prosecution of sex offenders.
Taitano says the grant also provides continued funding for multi-jurisdictional task forces which partner a local law enforcement body with a federal one. Task forces include a K-9 unit, which would perform inspections at ports of entry and in the community, a drug interdiction task force, a partnership between local customs and federal immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE, and a street gun violence partnership between GPD and ATF. Guam's draft strategy for drug control shows multi-jurisdictional task forces made 76 arrests in calendar year 2017, with 69 of those busts for methamphetamine hydrochloride, or ICE. The draft report details an increase in the smuggling of ICE into Guam through the post office and marine vessels. Source countries: Korea, China, the U.S., and the Philippines.
It's one of those things you almost don't need a report to tell you. We live in this community. We understand it, that's the major problem. A lot of that, and I appreciate this, is a rather thick document for you to go through. A lot of that is part of the process we have to acquiring this federal money here. And it's part of this. We're saying the public comment period, which is why it's so thick. The idea is to get all these documents out in the community for their public comment, and it's our pathway to actually get the grant money.
Taitsino says the public can comment on the draft strategy or program narrative, which is basically Guam's grant application, by stopping by BSP at Adelup or visiting the report online at bsp.guam.gov. Comment period ends June 28th. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Filipinos on Guam are celebrating Philippine Independence Month. The governor signed the proclamation this week, kicking off a series of events. Nestor Licanto reports.
2009.
Governor Leon Guerrero noted the long historical and cultural ties between the Philippines and Guam in a signing ceremony at Adelup.
We very much appreciate all the hard work that our Filipino community and our Filipino residents of Guam contribute to making our island, your island, a better place to live.
Philippine Consul General Marciano de Borja says the month-long celebrations are rather unique to Guam.
As I have said repeatedly, no other place outside the Philippines is Philippine independence more celebrated here in Guam, because in other posts I've been in the service for more than 25 years. The Foreign Service, they only celebrate it for one day or perhaps several days or a week. But here in Guam, it's for 1 month or even more.
The observance of Philippine independence includes flag-raising ceremonies to Filipino food festivals at various hotels and restaurants. Filipino Community of Guam President James Robinson also announced this year's special guest for the local celebration.
In conjunction with the Philippine Consulate General, our guest speaker on June 22nd is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Republic of the Philippines, the Honorable Lucas Bersamin, and I hope to see you all there.
June 12th is officially celebrated as Philippine Independence Day. Mabuhay! For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Licanto.
A mix of children, teens, and adults participated in the flight mechanics and flight assembly workshop and engaged in hands-on activities that taught them the fundamentals of building and operating unmanned aerial vehicles. Under the guidance of Evan Kawamura, a doctoral candidate at the University of Hawaii's Manoa College of Engineering, the participants used introductory Lego flybricks and tiny whoop kits to help them through the process. Topics discussed during the workshop included formulas to calculate flight, drag, and stabilization of UAVs, assembly of propellers, motors, and batteries, and basic flight operations and mechanics. Romina King, program director for the Pacific Islands Climate Adaptation Science Center at UOG, says, quote, "It's imperative that we expose our youth to these technologies early so that they are equipped with tools for future research and inspired to pursue STEM careers." Stay tuned. On Weekend Edition next, we'll rehash some of the big stories of the past week and still to come, the Guam Crime Stoppers Report.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
We value relationships because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
we are in it for the long run. So you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you.
When it comes to power and performance, nothing compares to Dodge. And right now at Cars Plus in Mighty, you can save thousands on many Dodge vehicles in stock during our Dodge Performance Days. Like a new 2019 Grand Caravan SE, save $4,250, or save $6,150 on a new Durango SXT. Looking for more power? Take home a new Charger SXT Plus today for only $37,689, or save over $7,000 on a new Challenger GT. Get more power and performance at Cars Plus in Mighty during Dodge Performance Days. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Multiple crimes make headlines this week, and Frank the Crank wins his latest UFC fight. All that and more on this week's episode of Trendspotting. This week has had some huge headlines in island crime news with a ton of conversations from people all over the world. So Chris, Sabrina, Ken, and I discussed the biggest stories on our newest podcast segment, Trendspotting. Undoubtedly, the most talked about incident was that of the machete madness. Eyewitness former Senator Judy Guthertz says a couple of young men were roaming the streets, then one of them went up to her car and started attacking it with a machete.
Right now I feel very nervous. Looking at a machete in front of me.
What seemed like a dangerous situation was later acknowledged as exaggerated from a few people.
I think the media blew it out of proportion.
I think it was blown out of proportion.
I think that it was an exaggerated incident.
Since then, two of the men, 19-year-old Emmanuel Resalap and 25-year-old Jordan Ratchelip, have been arrested. Here's how some of you reacted. Kathy was confused as to why it seemed like the victim was being questioned, stating, Guam is a small island, but there's so many crimes. Why? Because we are not dealing with them. Faye agrees about the crime rates going up and feels the only thing that was exaggerated was Lou's statement that we live in a safe environment. She posted, some people have been victimized in their homes, which is supposed to be one place we should feel safe. And Micah, who remembers Manila never being that bad, stated, sorry, but any crime committed is serious. It could have been any of our family members. It's time we take a stand. Since then, the Magahaga instructed Police Chief Steve Ignacio to set up village patrols and plans to hold meetings at the village level with FSM civic and church leaders, mayors, and other officials. For the latest updates with this story, you can read more on KUAM.com. Another rape makes headlines. 41-year-old Glyph Wane is behind bars, accused of raping a 15-year-old girl in Dedido. According to court documents, Wane allegedly walked into the victim's room, locked the door, and told her not to move, or he'll do something to her. Wane allegedly pulled off the girl's shorts and panties and raped her. He later told her to forget anything happened. The community on Instagram did not hold back with their thoughts on the story, gaining over 110 comments, most of them looking to island leaders for a solution to the crime rate problem. Miss Kim stated, our island is not safe anymore. This is all we hear and read. If it's not a machete incident, then it's a rape or home invasion. Come on, Governor, let's stop this violence with these people. Kay Pangilinan also commented, our island leaders need to do something already. This is ridiculous. Wane was charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct. A family trip to Kmart could have turned tragic for one family as a 9-year-old boy was almost kidnapped. The Guam Police Department is now searching for a man who tried to kidnap the boy at Kmart at around 8:30 p.m. Tuesday night. The boy had wandered away from his parents, and while at the TV section, a man wearing a blue hat and gray shirt grabbed him, covered his mouth, and tried to force the boy to follow him. The child grabbed a shelf, forcing the suspect to release him and walk away. The only other detail provided are that the suspect is in his 20s and has a dark complexion. Here's how some reacted online. Monica stated, CCTV, Big Brother should always be watching. What happened to the store cameras, security, and stressed to parents to please keep their children in sight, saying, our island home has always been a safe place, but things have changed obviously. Evil spirits are roaming freely. It takes seconds for your child to be taken, grabbed, or lured. Protect them. One comment that stood out from the rest was from the 9-year-old boy's auntie. Millie thanked everyone for checking up on her nephew after the news broke out. She states that Kmart does have surveillance footage, but unfortunately were not able to see anything on the footage that was there. She wrote, according to my sister, Kmart's cameras are very old, some not working, and their system only allows for review of footage one camera at a time. They were there for over an hour looking through footage. If you have any information, you are urged to call GPD dispatchers at 472-8911. A post by local painter Michelle Peer went viral over the island as her father, 67-year-old Kenny Peer, was assaulted by teenagers at the Agate Marina Monday night. In the post, Peer stated that the teens hang out around the Agate Marina, running around the docks, jumping on and off people's boats, and recklessly riding bikes up and down the narrow docks. As Kenny asked the boys to stop and leave, one kid flipped him off, and then a little while later came full force on his bike down the dock right towards him and his wife. The kid lunged at Kenny and started trying to fight him. The 67-year-old was able to get the teenager out of the gate and held it shut. A nearby boat owner witnessed the assault and called the police. According to the post, the teenagers were caught. Kenny suffered from some bruises and a small bloody abrasion on his collarbone area, but otherwise was fine, according to Michelle's post. The post gained over 550 shares and received over hundreds of comments, most expressing their concern for her parents and others showing their disgust towards the teen. Here are a few. Natalie Calvo states, "Sorry to hear this happen to your parents." Walter also states, "Sorry to hear about the total lack of respect to your mom and dad." And Ann Perez commented, "I'm glad Libby and Ken are fine. Charges should be made against these offending punks. They have to be taught that the community demands respect and care." In lighter news, Daniel Kang, repeat winner of the annual island-wide science fair, took home 2 awards from the 2019 Intel International Science and Engineering Fair, notably the largest international pre-college science competition in the world. The JFK Jr. represented Guam at the fair from May 12th to the 17th in Phoenix and came out as a 4th grand award winner in the materials science category and the top contestant of his category for the Air Force Research Laboratory Award. Congrats, Daniel. Lastly, to end the show with more good news, a huge congratulations to Frank the Crank Camacho in his latest UFC fight. Camacho defeated Nick Hein in a stunning standing TKO in the 2nd round in Stockholm, Sweden. Here's how the online community congratulated him.
When it comes to power and performance, nothing compares to Dodge. And right now at Cars Plus in Mighty, you can save thousands on many Dodge vehicles in stock during our Dodge Performance Days. Like a new 2019 Grand Caravan SE, save $4,250, or save $6,150 on a new Durango SXT. Looking for more power? Take home a new Charger SXT Plus today for only $37,689, or save over $7 grand on a new Challenger GT. Get more power and performance at Cars Plus in Mighty during Dodge Performance Days. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Advances in technique and medications used to prevent dental pain have shattered the myth that a dental visit is something to fear. Even the dreaded root canal or wisdom tooth extraction. Swabbing or spraying a topical numbing agent on before the injection and using different techniques and anesthetics can create a relatively comfortable or pain-free injection. Injections are often the most feared procedure. Some patients don't like the sounds or the vibrations of decay removal. If you're still nervous or you gag easy, despite these techniques, very safe oral medicines can be taken before your dental appointment to eliminate all fears, or some clinics use nitrous oxide gas. Pain relievers can easily be prescribed to eliminate mild to severe dental discomfort after any visit. For your Helpful Dental Minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. We shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do.
All right, my friends, the question and the headline on everybody's hearts, minds, and especially their fingers channeling through the keyboard this week was the big attack in Manila. Sergeant Paul Tapao from GPD is here, and we are going to continue to talk about how law enforcement has responded. Sarge, we had the mayor of Manila, Alan Ongacta, on our Crime Time live stream on Facebook, and the community itself is rallying around and saying, you know, we need to take care of our neighborhood, and we don't want this kind of element in our streets.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I want to thank KUAM for highlighting that, and it was really a great opportunity to hear the opinions, the suggestions, and the comments from the community, because that's how we can help find solutions, is by establishing that dialogue. I know Mayor Ngata was spot on when he said we need to start working in dialogue. And, reading the comments and some of the recommendations and suggestions, not just from here, but abroad from the United States and, of course, our neighboring islands such as Palau and Chuk, providing us some suggestions in what we can do. That was the first phase, was really opening it up, and it's unfortunate what happened. But the dialogue has been established within the community and getting the feedback. I think we had over 300 comments. And, I take wholeheartedly the comments and everything. And this is where we, within the Guam Police Department, can run and work with this. And, rest assured, Chief Ignacio, alongside all our commanders, are going to be taking this and moving forward with how we're going to be proactive with, not just this incident, but towards safety and security within our community.
Now, for the benefit of people that are watching right now, the chief himself, I know this for a fact, he actually looks at Facebook, like during his leisure hours and his off time, and he actually looks at those, and he takes each one of those comments, if people are offering suggestions, even if they're just talking smack, he takes all of that input very, very seriously.
He does. And, I, for one, as the public information officer with the Guam Police Department, that's important, Whether you criticize me or you agree with me, these are your opinions, and it does matter. And again, when we do shows like this with the Crime Time, and of course, right now where we're sitting, we're talking about crime and how the community can get involved. Get involved, send your comments and everything. And, this is where you can provide the suggestions, whether you want to come out to our town hall meetings, where you want to come out to our outreaches that we provide for the community. If you can't make it out there, this is a great opportunity in which you can opine your information or give us some sort of suggestions or recommendation. And these are things in which we take into consideration and do and provide a working mechanism for the community.
Mm-hmm. What has been the pulse of your fellow officers when they see something like this happen? Because so many GP cops that I know are from Mangilao. I mean, that's their neighborhood, that's their home village. They grew up on those streets. A lot of them went to UOG, so they know the area very, very well. As far as, being just Guamanians and everything, how did that make you guys feel?
Well, for one, with the Guam Police Department, it really is, understanding the situation that happened, understanding what they had to do. But now we're taking it to the private life. It's unfortunate. It is, and we're not going to shy away from that. That's always going to be there because it did happen. Now, with the professional side, with the Guam Police Department, is how do we move forward in preventing this? How do we move forward? How do we bring people to the table to prevent this from happening? And I want to tell the community out there, I want to tell this beautiful island of Guam that the Guam Police Department has forged partnerships with various organizations with our community, such as the Micronesian Resource Center, such as Manialo, such as various organizations that deal with rehabilitation and stuff. We've partnered up with private businesses such as LMS Guam. Mr. Bob Salas, who I want to say 85% of his employees are FSM citizens.
Uncle Bob
has reached out to us and provided assistance with a lot of our outreach, and he's willing to continue to assist us with our endeavors in providing these educational community outreach. So, the Guam Police Department is working with our respective members in the community in finding solutions so that we can prevent situations like this from happening.
Okay. Now, I know we've had so many crimes this week. We reported, two of our newscasts this day, the entire first block was all crime story, which is amazing. So what have you got for us? Do we even have a crime of the week this week?
Yes, we do.
And how do we pick just one? Because all of them are so dangerous.
So this is a fraudulent case that a constituent within the community has reached out and asked personally if we can feature this. And it's a theft that happened to an elderly male who is deceased. So we want to bring justice, and we ask that if you pay close attention to the surveillance footage, we captured the individual that is a person of interest within the Guam Police Department. If anybody can provide information and help us in identifying and locating this individual, we kindly ask that you help us in providing that information.
Okay, well, here is the video and the information.
The Guam Crime Stoppers is seeking the help from the community relative to an ongoing fraudulent investigation which was filed with the Guam Police Department in March of this year. The Guam Police Department is seeking a person of interest relative to this case. Video surveillance captured footage of the individual utilizing a Bank Pacific ATM card at a local retail store. The Guam Crime Stoppers is seeking the community's help in identifying this individual. If anyone has any information about this crime or any other crime, you can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP. That's 4357, or submit a tip online at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. All calls will remain completely confidential, and a cash reward of up to $1,000 could be paid if the information provided leads to an arrest and a grand jury indictment. Your call does make a difference.
Okay, Sergeant, let's just go ahead and close with the fact that, we've talked about this last week, but it is the summertime months. A lot of people are out and about. A lot of people are away from their homes. A lot of people are taking vacation. What can we do as neighbors to take care of each other? Because that's the only thing.
Yep.
We all have to work together, and I believe that's the point of your.
I'm glad you brought this up, and we were supposed to continue this week, but maybe we can chime on this because this is a whole new another platform with the Neighborhood Watch. But really, start with knowing your neighbors. Ask your neighbors to be that eyes and ears when you're away, understanding what you can do to be a proactive neighbor within your community. Really. Get involved with what's going on in the community. Understand what you can do to help not just your home, not just your street, but your entire community. Start by reaching out to your local mayors. Find out if there's an active neighborhood watch program within your community. And I would like for last week, maybe we can talk about this next week, to talk about how we can do, because we know that people are going to be traveling abroad and homes are going to be left unsecured. But this is the best way to start that dialogue into having a safer Guam through the summertime.
Well, we're going to go ahead and book that for next week, and we'll see you then.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us again.
All right, we'll see you after this.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Check out Triple J's spectacular deals going on now during the hot summer savings event. 0 down and no payments for 90 days. Get into a Kia Sportage or Mazda CX-5 at only $21,995 or $168 per paycheck. The big boy truck, the Ford F-150, starting at $229 per paycheck, or the Honda Civic starting at only $166 per paycheck. Triple J says yes. Purchase your next vehicle online at triplejguam.com today. Triple J, customers first.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
All right, everybody, weekend happy birthday to Bryden Toves with many more years to come. May all your wishes and dreams come true. We love you, say Auntie Shelley and Uncle Richard. Happy birthday this weekend also to Jerry Tyron, who blows the candles out today, and Eric James Atao Xian, wishing my son a happy birthday number 28 from Mom and Dad Flores and the entire familia. Also a member of our family, Christine and Chris Mesa, along with Sierra and Celine Mesa. Happy birthday to all four of you, and that is super, super quad awesome.
Happy birthday to all of them. Now remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Now be sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. Well, that's all we have for news tonight. From all of us here at Guam's News Network, thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world.